Good evening. Black Wall Street Legacy Inc. with you again today. Another week after enjoying the holidays. We hope everyone is well. Albany, Troy, Schenectady, Rensselaer. We got a very entertaining show, discussion for you tonight. As always, we bring on community. We spend the first few minutes talking about Black Wall Street and how it was a successful tool for us to participate and to build a thriving community where we each one teach one, we work together, we look for ways to support and ways to be more productive for ourselves and also for our neighbor. So let me first start out by introducing our guest. We brought on a local artist, the brother Trenchy. We'll let him introduce himself to you, and then we'll let his manager or his partner introduce himself, and then we'll kind of go in and see what's going on in the neighborhood and seeing what the brother is bringing to the table. I know he's doing a lot in the community.
My name's Trenchy the Guy from Albany, New York, born and raised. Yeah, find me uptown. I'm usually First Street, Second Street, Clinton, moving around, trying to stay in tune with the good people in my neighborhood.
Okay, all right. That's what Black Wall Street is all about. It's about community. And that's why I feel so blessed that we have an opportunity when we reach out to individuals in the community that come on and sit with us and talk with us. And we're solution based. So we always keep our door open to hear ways that we can work with the community to do better. Why don't you introduce yourself to our guest?
I'm Greaves. I'm originally from the Bronx. I've been in Albany for a while now. You can find me anywhere around here, Albany, Troy, Schenectady. I basically go all over,
Okay.
And I'm just, working with Trenchy. We're trying to make things happen around here. Open the door. Maybe
Okay.
other people could get into.
All right, okay. So, all right now, you're an artist. Artists, like I always say, artists have a story to tell. Talk about it.
It's a lot of things I can't really get into, but typical, grew up in a rough neighborhood. Wasn't easy, you know what I'm saying? Had to learn my way through it and develop my own method of survival, you know what I'm saying? So for the most part, just grew up kind of rough, but I got it together, you know what I'm saying? Still made sure I seen some light at the end of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what I'm going through, gotta maintain some form of optimism, so.
Okay, all right. You got some young ones?
Yeah, I got 4 kids.
4?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So then, here we go. Investment in the community, because investment in the community means what? It means a platform, or it means a way for us also to create a future and a good environment for our babies, right?
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, so it's about being involved. It's about, it's about accountability. And most artists, sometimes they overlook the point that they are community leaders, and what's the story to tell? But what I like a lot of times when we observe some of the artists that have been out there for years and they become successful, we know how they focus on business, right? Whether it be their merchandise or whether it be real estate or doing something, in the form of business, right? What are you doing, if anything, to prepare? Because while you're waiting to blow, you got to get that business. You got to get that merchandise together. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to take advantage of this time, right? While you waiting.
Very much true. Last year, I had a little launch on my Trench God line. Did kind of well. Right now, we just revamping and trying to figure out the next best way to push it back out there for the people. Other than that, I'm just more so all around with the music, I get involved with a few things and that cross my path, you know what I'm saying, as far as my neighborhood goes. I stay focused on the music. I stay focused on things that, gonna help me get to where I need to go and help the people around me get to where they need to go.
Right. If you were to talk right now to the audience, and you were to tell them, like, in our urban community, what are some of the things that you think would be good to bring to the table, or some of the things that the community needs, what would you say?
Honestly, I would say just more so just being in tune with each other,
Mm-hmm.
having understandings and conversations that lead to open dialogue down the line, to where people don't gotta have so many confrontations, so many, you know what I mean, conflicts back and forth. And just mainly, like, really just making sure our kids understand where we come from, where we at, and where we need to go. Like,
Right.
that would be, like, very, very, very important. Like, that's one of the things I really, like, focus on a daily, like, making sure my kids understand, like, where we come from and where we need to go.
Right, right.
Who you are, know yourself, know how to carry yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you represent your family,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Just try to pass it on, like, the morals that be stolen you know, that your family gave you. Just try to pass it on to the next, and hopefully they take it. But it's up to them, like, somebody can give you anything, but it's up to you what you gonna do with it, so.
That's real.
That's
Okay.
how
So the magic question, right? Because we interviewed a couple of artists so far, and I hope by the time we finish, we introduce every artist in Albany, Troy, Schenectady, Rensselaer, even from downstate, right? But this question I'm gonna throw, because this is the first time I'm throwing it, and I'm gonna start to throw it more. Not if, when, right? When you become successful in your career, what you're gonna give back to the community. Because it's the community, right, that's gonna support you, right? We're gonna support you. And once you, start to take off, what you gonna do for the community? What would you do for the community?
I feel like that's easy to say right now, but until put in that situation, it's like, it's hard to say, because when it comes down to it, me being the person that I am, I know something. It's gonna be something,
Right,
But
right.
I can't foresee the dynamics of what my community is gonna be like when that happens. You know what I'm saying? If it was now, I'd have an understanding. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But in
Okay.
the future, like, it's hard to understand. Like, it's hard
Okay.
to say what's gonna be going on, like what my community still may need. You know what I mean? As far as the kids, or
Right.
as far as
Well-
just the community as a whole.
Well, when I was a young man, right, the same cry then still echoes now, jobs. You know what I mean? So that means that we need to find some ways to open up new companies so that we can hire some of, our young adults, right? And also be able to support people so that they can go into business themselves, right? And start to create.
And I think, like, that kind of, what you're saying, kind of like same similar, because once I understand, like, the dynamics of what's going on, like, all right, you see a particular group of kids and they really into something, or a particular group of people and they really into something, then, all right, you can try to develop something for them, you know what I mean, that they can learn what they're doing, craft or trade, or even just have an opportunity to get a clean check, you know what I mean, just providing that because you've seen a window, like, all right, it's a service needed, or it's a void that need to be filled, and these people over here can fill it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think, like, I understand the jobs and, all of that for the community, but I think more so financial literacy. Like, everybody, like, we need to, like, learn how to, like, build our own businesses and things like that. Like, when I was going to school and stuff like that, they didn't teach you, like, you could be a business owner and own your own business and show you the steps to do it. They just like, nah, you gotta
Go work
read
for
these
them.
books and do this
Yeah.
so that you could be a trash man or so that you could be whatever it is that
Basically,
you
it was
choose to
always
be. Like
you
not
had to
your-
work for someone.
Yeah, not showing you
You know what I
that
mean?
you could be the boss and that you could run your own company. Like, and we have been doing it, but you know, some done it wrong and some done it right. But if we just, if we just get that in the community to where we could teach it to everyone, we'll be better off. Like,
Okay.
I'm trying to teach my son. Like, I'm
Right.
talking to him about, like, I know you want to work and all that, but like, think about how you could start your own business, like how you could be an entrepreneur, and then you could put your friends on, and you got a bunch of friends, you could start a moving company, this, and
Right.
you don't have to work for nobody.
Right.
And that's what we need to teach each other instead of, oh yeah, like, yo, we need more jobs and this. Nah, we need more bosses. We need more ownership. That's
Right.
what we need more of.
Right.
Like owning, like we all been here, like what you were saying earlier, we've been here forever. Like, you know what I mean? We need a part of it. And,
Yeah.
I believe that too, you know, so.
And that's good. That's good. See, the average person wouldn't even think that the community's thinking like that, but no, we are thinking like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes just voicing that, we find out that our brothers thinking that too, our sisters thinking that too, because we got some serious grown folk business in the community that we got to deal with, but we need to deal with it. We don't need any outside force dealing with it. We need to establish a norm and some rules, and what comes to mind is in the city, when you see the housing complexes, it could be like 1 o'clock at night, and you're like, what is that noise? And the community room will be open, and you'll see some children in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are they doing up this late? But they have it open. They don't tell them to come at that hour, but they have it open so that they won't be on the street. So if you on the street, no, come in here.
There's somewhere for
But
you
they
to
don't
go.
do that. They don't do that here. So that's a conversation, that's a conversation that maybe, we can find somebody to champion that cause, right? Like, hey, just dealing with housing, like, hey, listen, these are some of the things we want to do in the community. And the first thing they're going to say, well, who's supportive of it? We're supportive of it.
Yeah, we
Right?
have to support
And that's all it, but that's what I'm saying. That's how leadership move. Leadership in real entrepreneurship, you don't just wake up and say, I'd like to start a construction company. No, you look at everything, you see what niche is in the market.
That's what I said. I just go back to understanding the dynamics of what's going on and what's needed. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right,
For real.
right. Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
I see it now. Like, that's what, like we were talking about earlier. Like, when I'm outside every day, like when I'm going to the store to buy something, I'm buying it from the Aki. I ain't buying it from him. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to get some food, I'm most likely getting it from the Chinese restaurant, or you know what I mean, or it's not we don't have no restaurants really.
Right.
Like where you could go get some food that we like to eat that mama got in the kitchen. That's rare around here. You know what I'm saying? They're everywhere. You want to know something? When I came to Albany, when I was young, I used to have to come up here to visit. And I think it was probably like 97, 95, something around that time. Every store I used to go to around here, a black person owned it. And then once it got to like the 2000s, like once the 2000s came in, the early 2000s, and I was coming back, now you just start seeing all of the Arabs and stuff like that on the store. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Like Albany, that's something I remember as a child, coming from the Bronx and coming up here. You just seeing the Spanish people owning the store, or you're not seeing your people owning nothing.
Right.
And that's what I seen out here. Like, hey,
And that's what's so special about Black Wall Street. We're not discriminatory, but we deal with what's in front of us. And if our urban community is in front of us, then of course we should be a part of that scheme. That landscape. It should be set up right where it facilitates and it assists our growth also.
I don't think it should be anything discriminatory or anybody should even take any ill feeling or, you know what I'm saying, anything of that manner towards that. Like, at the end of the day, it's empowerment. You know what I'm saying? It's
Okay.
self-empowerment. It's empowering our people. It's empowering our children. And, you know what I mean? Like, that's what any ethnicity would want for themselves. So I don't understand, you know what I mean, why anybody would ever feel any way towards that.
Right.
And
So I learned.
to this
I
day
learned,
they do. It's
Yeah.
do. And it's hard to understand, like, you know what I mean? Like, you want the same thing for your people, but not ours. And we wrong for wanting the same thing for ours. But
Right. So I learned something new about you today, that you really do have a vision, and that you know what I'm saying, you understand what's going on.
Most
And it's
certainly.
about change. Because some artists just sing or they rap about their story, and some rap also about the community. Because I heard one of your songs, you said, "I'm so Albany." That always stick in my head when I think of you. You said, "I'm so Albany." I said, "What do you mean he's so Albany?" So Albany, what does that mean? I'm so Albany. Meaning I'm the Albany experience. I digested it, and this is where we need to go. What does that mean?
to me, that's being aware of where you're from, having an understanding of where you're from. You know what I mean? It could be whatever generation you grew up in. You know what I mean? Or whatever era you was in. If that's your understanding of it, like for me, this is my understanding. This is what Albany was like for me. This is what Albany showed me, taught me. These are the things I experienced out here. You know what I mean? So when I gave So Albany, I was giving people an understanding of what me and so many other people like me go through out here. Because I tell my story, but at the same time, when I'm telling my story, I'm telling somebody else's. Because a lot of people that we come across go through same and similar situations and never speak on it, don't have an outlet to speak on it, don't even know, like, speaking on it could help somebody else. You know what I mean? So me knowing that, like, I feel like I gotta speak to it. Like,
Right.
I gotta speak for Albany. Like, I gotta speak for my understanding of Albany and the people that see it the way I see it.
Right. So let me ask you: Would you be interested in helping Black Wall Street use this platform to hear the community, to reach in and talk about some of the things that we need, some of the things that we need to get ourselves in position to do? Because after COVID, trust me, and when I say trust me, I'm saying facts. Things will never be the same. We're creating everything new now.
Yes.
And we must at the same time, while everyone else is creating new, we must create new. It's studies that say that by 2050, that our urban community will be zero, will not be functional, period. Because the basic skill set for the jobs that we apply for, like the grocery stores, the shopping centers and things, Amazon is putting a lot of those businesses out of business. So we need to retool. We need to retrain ourselves, right, to what's happening, what's going on. And I think one of the biggest ways is entrepreneurship, because you look at some ethnic groups, they sell you water and they do okay.
Yep.
You know, they're out there and they're moving. So we got to be out there moving. We need to create some zones, some markets. We need to create some business classes where we can sit and just talk. You know, we definitely need to pull up, and we need a zone, like a safe
That come
zone.
from
You know, like
having
we
them-
sitting
them
together.
Open rooms. Having
Yeah.
open rooms where people, you know what I'm saying, with like-minded ideas can come and talk about these things and bounce ideas off each other. You know what I mean? That come from just having them conversations. Sometimes it takes somebody to say, hey, let's say everybody that share the same vision or anything like that, let's all get together and see what we could come up with. You know what I mean? Let's put all these ideas together and try to make something grow. So that's very influential, and it inspires other people. You know what I mean? And it pushes people to do a little bit more than what they, you know what I'm saying, accustomed to or what they're comfortable with. You know what I mean? It gets them out their comfortable. It gets them out their comfort zone.
Right.
Get them around other people that, you know what I mean, have drive, have goals, have ideas that they could rock with. So I think like that's important.
Let me share this with you. This is something I learned. voting, right, on a bigger level is kind of obscure, meaning it's kind of vague, it's wide. But on a local level, it's more realistic, it's more tangible, you can touch it. Because the individuals that we see in those offices are the individuals that are over DSS, the individuals that are over family services, the individuals that are over the school system, right? And it's so small. I mean, Albany only got like what, 90,000 people. It's so small. And everybody really knows that you look to the left, you know somebody. You look to the right, you know somebody. So we could have some power conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because, look, while we had beautiful childhoods, our children now, I think they enjoy their childhoods, but I could be wrong. I don't think they're having as much fun as we had. Show me one little girl that you see out in the street jumping rope, double dutch.
Yeah, that's.
Show me one.
You don't see that no more.
Show me
or,
one.
What's that they used to?
And you had
numbers. When they used to go like that.
Right, and but you had the older children, and then every now and then you had this beautiful mom come out and get it. That's what we used to wait for. Come on, Miss May. Come on, Miss May. Show them how it go. Miss May came out. You know, but the point is,
Miss May still around.
Yeah.
Miss Parker.
So.
Tell you about Miss May.
So. Those are like things. Like somebody had said that to me. One of the sisters, she said, "You do a lot of events and stuff. Why don't you do X, Y, Z?" I said, "I don't even think they could jump rope, right?"
Yeah, then another thing I'm not really from here, but where I grew up at, like they used to have like bus rides to amusement parks and things like that. Like we always had something to do. Like they made sure it was something. Like the community I'm from, well, I'm from Highbridge Projects, and like growing up, they made sure we did stuff. Like we went places, went on trips every summer, went away to sleepaway camp and all of these things. And like here, I'm not saying that there's none of them, but I rarely see it. Like the community getting together, all the kids getting together and going up to right the mass to the amusement park.
And they got a beach. They got a beach right there outside of Troy too. I forgot what it is. I think it's Grafton, right?
Yeah.
I went out there one time. It's a nice
They got a
beach.
water park right there too in Fishkill, New York, right down
Wow.
there.
Wow.
Yeah, Splashdown Beach. Yeah,
So
there's a lot of beautiful things in New York that people think that's not going on. People are small-minded, but if you leave out the city and come up this way, like towards the Catskills and around, it's a whole bunch of stuff to do out here, man.
Right.
New York is a beautiful place, man.
Yeah.
People just think that it's just tall buildings and nah, we got everything, man. We got fun, all that.
Yeah,
Like,
and they play games because you get on the highway, you go down to the city. What's the first sign you see when you get there? Believe the hype. Right?
I think fun changed. I think every generation fun changes. Like some of the things that our parents did when they was growing up, they probably I don't think that their parents probably thought were fun, but that's what was in at the time, and the kids.
All right,
probably had
so what's fun to them today then?
Honestly, roadblocks and anything electronic.
yeah, I get what you're saying, because remember, like, we had to go, like, everybody ain't have a game system.
Yeah.
Like, you either went to your one friend, like, he was spoiled, he probably had everything, or we all go down to the game room and you probably ain't have a bunch of quarters, so you trying to rock with that one quarter or y'all share it, don't lose.
That's it. I think that's
You
what
know,
it comes down to.
now
Like
it's
the
just in
fun
your
just
palm.
changed for different
Let me-
generation.
Let me throw this in there, because you know.
And this fun is toxic. It's very toxic.
Right, but let me throw this in there, because I'm noted for some type of humor, right? Let me throw this in there. So, in my age bracket, we tried to become famous at football, basketball, and boxing. I did all of them: high school football, boxing, all of them. Trying to get out, trying to get in the hood.
Everything.
And it was a culture with it. And then the next generation, you had a lot of people that used to, be famous like with track, right? And other types of sports, soccer, right? Baseball, other sports. But then let's go back before that to the 50s. With them, it was what? It was basic stuff like track, getting on the Olympic teams, right? And doing things on that level, right?
Yeah.
But now, everybody's medium to get out of the hood is hip hop. And most people are going to the type of content that shows aggression,
Now, if we
and
flip
that
that-
brings the culture.
If you flip that, you see that's same and similar to what I said.
Right, that's a
That's same
fact.
and similar to what I said.
That's a fact.
Like people,
That's a fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. So you right on then. But normally, because we're about ready to wind down, normally we have a jar here. And when you come on, you got to put your business card in the jar. So if you don't have a business card, you got to write your name and paper on it. And that's how we build our network. You need a hat, you need somebody, you need an artist, you need somebody, you need whatever, and we keep everything in the jar. You know?
That's cool. You can
So
find
we got to
anything in
keep
there.
on,
Yeah.
right, we got to keep on building that. You know what I mean? And a lot of times in that jar, you'll probably find answers and release to certain conflicts. Because we could probably pull two cards out and say, okay, we know, here we go. This is the problem. I can fix it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
voice of
listen, we gotta have you back. You know that, right?
Yes,
You so Albany, so this is Albany Channel. So you gotta, you gotta be back.
Yeah,
You gotta
definitely.
come back, right? Why don't you take this time while we wind it down? Why don't you take this time to let your audience know how to reach you?
For everybody that don't know, my name is Trenchy the Guy, Albany, New York's very own. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Facebook, Trenchy the Guy, Instagram, Trenchy the Guy. I don't have a TikTok, Snapchat, Trenchy the Guy, anything all like that, man.
Okay.
I'm around, man. Get at me. Have
Okay.
a conversation with me.
And thank you for coming on too,
Thank you.
right? Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Albany, Troy, Schenectady, Rensselaer. It's been good. I mean, as always, we brought on another artist, so we've been standing true to our word. We're gonna open up this dialogue with community. We're gonna find different ways to be productive and come up with some solutions. We wanna be solution solvers, right? So we appreciate you. We look forward to expanding our program tonight. My co-host, she's back from the city. She was in the city with her family. She's back, and we look forward to her introducing and interviewing her guests.
Welcome back to Black Wall Street. We have a special guest in the studio.
Hi, my name is Summer Jordan. I'm also known as Empress Summer.
So, what are some of the things that you do in the community?
Some of the things that I do here in the community is I am a spiritual life coach, and I also do modeling, and I also work as a meditation and Afro-Caribbean instructor, dance instructor at Blessed Body Studio. It's a fitness studio here in Albany, New York.
So, tell us more about your spiritual life coaching. What does that necessarily entail?
So some of the things I do for spiritual life coaching is working with people personally. I may provide them tarot readings. It may just be like a vent session type of consultation with a client that just may have a lot going on, like spiritually, and want someone to talk to for some guidance. So that's what I'm there for. I am there to aid and assist and basically provide tools to help people that may be just starting their spiritual journey or looking to continue.
Okay. You said you do tarot readings, right?
Yeah.
Can you go more into explain to the people what does that necessarily mean?
Tarot readings are basically like you may use cards for like intuitive reads. It's like going to the doctor and how you get checkups and stuff like that. So it's basically people come to me when they're feeling like not spiritually well and they need someone to talk to. It's kind of like that. So with tarot reading, you use cards for intuitive reads to see where they may be at spiritually. And I can have a simple conversation, but some people prefer the tarot readings because that's just a part of their spiritual system. So it's basically an intuitive read based on someone, people, places, environments they may be around, and letting them know, like, basically the energy that is held and which way they should go.
Can you give us like some examples of like, you know, the experiences from your clientele in terms of like the tarot readings and like how it's benefited them?
I actually had a client reach out to me today, and I was really proud to hear from him. So he's been like doing affirmations. He has been writing like gratitude notes to himself around his house. He's been disconnecting from social media and letting go of, like, you know, just the norm of just scrolling. Yeah. Let's see, he's been more aware and conscious of the people, the company he keeps, if they're draining him, if they're,
you know, like using him.
Yeah, if there's like a mutual connection, if they're like better energies for them. So it has helped people. I have seen the turnaround. Some people, they may want to know things that haven't yet manifested, and basically sometimes you use me as a spiritual practitioner. I use my intuition to give them downloads I may be getting to a system. So I have seen turnaround, and it has helped people in their mental health as well, like getting spiritual consultation from me.
Yeah. What inspired you to start doing tarot readings?
That's a good question. Thank you for the question. What got me into tarot readings is just being like a natural researcher. So I was always into like horoscopes and stuff like that, and then I would see stuff like tarot card of the day. So I was like, what is that? And I started doing more readings on it, like researching. Then I got my first deck of cards, and I just started going from there. But I've always been someone that's intuitive. Like, I could look at somebody and I could like tell them their whole life story, and I don't know them from a hole in the wall. So tarot reading basically is like, that's just another tool to kind of do
To understand yourself necessarily.
Yeah, to understand yourself, to understand people, and to understand their energy around you. Stuff that you may not be able to see. It may look like, it may appear blind to, like, you know, just a regular eye, but if you use your third eye, then you definitely can see. So that got me into tarot reading. Yeah.
In a more general sense, like, how has spiritual life coaching benefited you as a person, like before you took on the actual role of coaching, and then after? Like, how has it benefited you?
Spiritual life coaching has benefited me by, it's helped me really know that that is a part of my purpose, to aid people in healing, in cultivating, and spiritual maintenance, and self-care. That's all a part of self-care for me. It's helped me understand myself better, because I've always been someone where I don't fit in with like the normal crowd. Like, I don't care to be popular or liked. I just want to be respected. So it's helped me learn that there's a place for alternative Asiatic women who, you know, may not fit in with the norm. It's helped me love myself, my natural self. Like, when I started my spiritual life coaching journey, I also started my natural hair journey. So it's helped me love myself.
You just open up different ventures in your life.
Yeah, it's helped me love myself, who I am, and learn what my purpose for being here and why my creator put me here.
So, to bring that back to the community of Albany, how do you think spiritual life coaching can aid and assist with some of the, you know, the downsides that you see in the residents in Albany?
I believe that spiritual life coaching could benefit this community of Albany, because a lot of people here struggle with like depression, motivation. They don't struggle with starting projects sometimes. It's more about continuing. It's something where people also need a support system. They need a community that is going to talk the same language. It's talk a language they understand. So with spiritual life coaching, I feel like that introduces people to like a safe space that
Yes.
is not really promoted in
Mhm.
Albany all the time. It's not about popularity. It's not about anyone other than you, really, when
Mhm.
you come into get these services. So I think with spiritual life coaching, and you could call it even spirit self maintenance, I think it will help people realize their purposes, why they're here, and feel better about the things they're doing, and get out of like the norm or the matrix of just working a regular job to get money and do things they actually love, but also like believing in themselves that their dreams can come true. It just requires action and to be in a healthy state of mind too.
Yeah. So apart from spiritual life coaching, what other tools that you think the community of Albany can use in order to aid to fight, depression, lack of motivation? What other services do you think should be offered to them or see more of?
I think that Albany could really benefit from programs that are based around like entrepreneurship, that give like paid incentives, like business programs that help you learn how to obtain an LLC or learn how to do a business banking account, learning how just what entails like communication skills when it comes to business. So business programs, I think traveling programs that open people's horizons, their eyes to more than just Albany. Like, it's statistically proven that people, when you travel more, that you have a more broader, wider horizon.
Like your way of thinking is bigger.
It's better.
And I was talking to one of the kids at my program, and it was kind of disheartening seeing that, they're young, but they don't see that there's something greater outside of Albany. And I was really talking to her. I'm like, what do you want to go in life? What do you want to be? Do you want to just be stuck in Albany? Because I strongly believe Albany is a great place to start a young adult life, but it's a stepping stone. It's not where you sit and lay and die. So I feel as though, the community, especially the youth, they need not really trades, because from what I saw and being here in this short amount of time, I saw a lot of people are very resourceful, but it's more so how to apply it to, elevate themselves or elevate the community. It's more so like, I know a lot of people who can do hair, they're athletic, they do construction, a lot of things in Albany, but it's like they're their own island. So how do we come together and connect it to really build, a better name for Albany, in a sense?
And that's a great point. I think that we have to take the ego and the popularity contest out of a lot of the things that we're doing, because when it's like a lot of favoritism out here. So in
Yeah.
So I think finding the people that have the mentality where it's about us as a collective and have the mindset to support, like, even if you had like a community that was about bartering and trading and making sure that the money is circulating to
within
all,
the community.
Yeah, like instead of just, okay, so a girl that sells hair, but you're gonna still go to a beauty supply, when the girl, you can buy some hair from her, and you can also go to another girl who knows how to install that hair. I think it's really about supporting, and I also think it's about being realistic with the prices too out here. Like, some people charge an arm and a leg when they get a certain level of clientele, but you forget the community that you're serving. You have to be humble.
And you
with
become
the pricing.
stagnant.
Yeah, because people can't pay $1,000 to get box braids. Like, they had to. No offense, they can't.
I can't pay about this. Was $1,000.
You had to. I think it's really about being realistic, taking the ego out of. I think if you have the mentality and you're around people who are like-minded, and you all are a team, then that will be beautiful. But I also think another good program for Albany would be like, I don't know, like a real estate program, teaching people how to become landlords or own buildings and stuff like that, so they could get into a mindset of being like independent and making passive income instead of just spending money. Like, learning
Yeah.
how to make their money multiply for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a great point. Outside of being a spiritual life coach, what are some other business ventures that you took during your life?
Some other business ventures that I've taken initiative to start is things like chandeliering, which
Mhm.
means making handmade products like soap or candles. I've gotten into doing that. I've made handmade raw crystal jewelry. Let's see. I'm interested in, I'm going to be taking a class soon on how to make rugs.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. I've taken classes on how to install like wigs and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Yeah, I've taken pole dancing classes, so that's like pole fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got into Blessed Body Fitness Studio.
Tell us more about it. Like,
Yeah, and aerial yoga, that's another one. So
how'd you find that?
I just looked up. I've always wanted to do pole dancing classes, so I looked it up.
Mhm.
And I had to really look because there's not a lot of pole dancing studios out here. But I found this one, and
Mm-hmm.
I just applied for the class and I went in. So I ended up talking to an instructor, and they said they were looking for more instructors, and I got plugged in.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell some of the benefits that you see? Because I know, like, in terms of how pole dancing is more so erotic, but from a dancer's perspective, for me, I know that it's more to it. Can you explain?
So the benefits of pole fitness would be one, fitness, like, and also for some people don't like just going to a gym and doing weights and just using machines. Some people want to do something where they're not really thinking about
Yeah.
being fit. It's just naturally happening.
Mm-hmm.
So fitness is one thing, and it's strength and conditioning. It helps you. It doesn't matter really your gender, your sexual orientation. It's you explore your sensuality, and you become more confident. You become more self-motivated. It's a good place to be. Also, you're networking. You're meeting new people who have healthy mindsets. I go to that studio. I've never been around a group of women who are so focused on, their business. Is a place. That studio is not just pole dancing. They do nails there. They do hair there. They do facial treatments. It's a lot. You can buy things there. You can buy merchandise there. So it's like a really great place to network. It's a great place to be around positive women. There's a lot of benefits to it, and it's a safe space.
So from personally, how has it benefited you? Like, I know, like, you just talked about the general benefits of, like, pole instruction.
Oh, and it's really
But how's
great
it
for
changed?
mental health. It's a really great.
How has
thing
it
for
changed
mental
you?
health. It's helped me
Yeah.
because it's helped me boost my mental health. Like,
In what ways?
in what ways? Like, sometimes I can be stagnant and stuff like that. So it's helped me like become more of a self-starter, take initiative more into things that are more entrepreneurial, and get out there, get my name out there, get my brand and some of the services I provide. Now I'm creating events that are based around that location. So, and I'll have more information soon about it. Yeah. And I'm sorry, what was the question once again? So I think I have more to say.
More so, like, how has pole instruction really benefited you as a person? Like, we talked about the general stuff about clarity, self-confidence, but what are some of the changes that you saw in yourself from when you before you started and now?
I'm stronger now, like
physically?
Yes, physically. I'm physically stronger now. So it's helped me take on challenges and not be so stressed in it. Like, just flow with it. Know that every day you go back and you get stronger. Every day is not going to be a good day. Trying to do something that's challenging, but it's helped me face challenges with a more positive attitude. It's helped me connect with like-minded women who, it's like a judgment-free zone. You can really talk to them. Let's see. It's helped me become more confident in owning my sensuality and expressing it, and not being afraid to, like, kind of just put myself out there, and not, it's less concerned with judgment and more so my happiness.
Like, you're in tune with yourself. It's not.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's helped me define, like, get more into myself and be more confident in who I am and not really care about the critique of it. It's more so like a part of a journey, like a self-love journey for me.
I feel the same way, like, in terms of, like, dancing, because even though I don't do pole instruction, even being in, like, a studio and you put your music on and you move, it's very healing.
Yes,
Very
it is.
healing.
It can be.
Because then you learn how to love yourself. And I feel like another way that you just brought up earlier in the conversation, modeling. Modeling is another way to love yourself. You agree?
I think with pole fitness is too, like, you know, women, we hold a lot of trauma in our womb. So when you're moving around and you're dancing, you're getting all of those blockages outside of your womb. You might have a less harsh period.
I learned that, like, from, like, whining and, like, a lot of, like, even a lot of cultures that, you know, Western civilization has deemed, you know, erotic or inappropriate, like African
hypersexual.
or I said like African cultures and Caribbean cultures. I really did learn, you know, even at my age, that's not the point of it. It's
That's
more so
not.
healing.
And it's also an honor to our ancestors, you know, and the knowledge and the gifts they left us behind, that basically the power that we have is within us. It's not outside of us. And to own who we are, especially from a history where people police our bodies, our minds,
Our hair, everything.
We've taken that power back and liberating ourselves, giving ourselves permission to be without the social constraints and the construct.
Yeah, definitely.
And then without the critique too.
But it's different because sometimes the critique doesn't, like, for me, the critique doesn't come from others. I could care less what you have to say, but it's more so I critique myself.
Yeah, it's the critique. It's me with my thoughts more than it is with anybody else. Because I haven't really been judged by anybody. It's more so the thoughts for myself, and so that overthinking for myself.
Yeah, like, you know, I feel like it naturally let your mind flow.
Just let yourself have permission to do this right now and to be happy in it, and stop looking for flaws and just, I did this, and be proud of yourself.
I try to teach my kids that because I also do dance instruction. And it's like I tell them, if I'm not hard on you, if I'm not yelling at you, if I'm not demanding this from you, why are you demanding it from yourself?
Right.
You know, be comfortable with making mistakes and not, okay, just getting it. Because I feel like a lot of, you know, and it's not their fault, but a lot of, you know, the technology and media that's offered to them is very fast and pleasing.
And
So
everything's
when
about perfection, but they don't show what it takes to get there. And in the social media, it'll be famous people that are telling you, like, my life is a lie on Instagram.
They'll tell you it's a lie, but then it's like, okay, yeah, you're lying, so it's true, but it's not. So it's like a
People
mind
are-
cycle game about, you know, what's true, what's not, and so rather than focusing on what's not true and what's not, focus on yourself. What's true to you? Because like I tell my friends all the time, social media is not real.
It's not. If you lose it today, then what are people gonna do when it comes to being social?
It's not even just like the aspect of you losing it. In general, it's not real.
It's
So
not.
don't take these things into you because you're just bringing in something that's never reality, even though it seems reality. And it's like, you know, it's easy to say it's not real, but I want people to really grasp the idea of that it's not.
You could create
real.
your own persona on.
Everything is created,
Yeah.
even dramas.
Nobody's sharing their real life.
Even if it looks like real life trauma,
Yeah.
it's
Scripted.
It's created. So, you know, but back to what we were talking about, I try to tell my kids, like, just because you see fast results doesn't mean you're going to get them. And you have to be comfortable with not being perfect. Because I'll show them a move, and if they don't get it, they're discouraged. But I'm like, I've been dancing since I was 7. I'm in my 20s. I've been doing this for a while. You guys are just starting out. Take your
Practice.
time.
You have to practice. You have to.
Take your time. Love yourself. And I've taken kids who, like, because I work with, I think, ages 5 to 18. And I saw younger kids who, when they first started, they were like not confident in themselves. You know, they're always angry, they're crying. But now it's like I teach them a move and they're picking on. They're picking up so fast. Or they're like, oh, Miss Kayla, I'm in my own dance. Or they don't need me no more. So they be like, oh, just can I use your speaker?
Getting them disciplined.
Yeah, can I use your speaker to make a dance? I don't really need you.
See, we got
So-
self-starters. We got self-motivated. And I love that for you, and I love that for them.
Yeah, so really being able to just like pick up and build in the community, that's a really beautiful thing and a beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
And I feel like pole instruction, jazz, tap, ballet, hip hop, they all teach you about yourselves.
Yeah. It teaches you, you know, because you're definitely going to have those days that aren't always perfect, but it gives you that practice of everything's not going to be perfect. I may be super new at this, but if I keep coming back, then I know that I'll leave stronger and with a new skill than what I had yesterday.
Yeah.
And build that consistency.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's not just teaching you on like a physical aspect. It's more so teaching you a lot of stuff about yourself. Because even at like my age, I'll think about dances and I'm like in my head, like a thought will come past like, oh, I can't do that. And then I realize, girl, you've been dancing for a long time. What are you talking about? You know, so sometimes it helps flush out, you know, like negative thinking. And then once you realize you can do that, okay, that means I can do that attitude and apply it to a different point in my life.
Right.
In terms of like you talking about business ventures, networking, you know, building yourself, trade, skills. It's a lot of things that come from it. So I like that you really indulge in pole instruction because it's
Pole
not
fitness.
pole fitness in itself, because it's not just an essential aspect that I feel like is overly exploited. It's more so to build yourself and the people around you, and it's not just only for entertainment.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's something I did for myself to study myself, to own myself, and because you know, if you're always in the house and stuff, you're not really exposing yourself to anything
like
new.
you're learning yourself, but to overextend, like you, because being to yourself for too long, you become overcritical.
And then if you are always in the house, you know, you're used to those four walls. What is it like when you have to go out and talk to people? And you know, just being in the house in general can't always be healthy. It's always
not.
nice to have a hobby. You need fresh air.
You stunt your intelligence in a way. Because I was telling somebody I know, I was like, I would like for you to be around people so that you are able to expound on your emotional intelligence and learn different social cues, because we are not getting younger, we're getting older.
Right.
So you know that you could tell the difference between a person who hasn't been around somebody and then a person who's very diverse and met different people, different backgrounds, races. It shows as you get older, because as kids we don't see it because we're in one community, where people usually we go to elementary school together, then we go to middle school together, then we'll go to high school. But as we get older, it's our responsibility to really branch off and learn different things.
It's like dating. It's like you're not gonna find the love of your life. They're not just gonna ring your doorbell. Like you gotta go out and
Experience yourself.
Experience,
Because what somebody else does, it might become a part of your routine. I feel like everybody is just built off of different people. Nobody can really say, "Oh, I built myself by myself." Those are usually the worst people, because they lack self-awareness and social development, or like, you know, criticism from the community.
Right.
But people who are really, you know, esteemed in power and stuff like that, they have been around a lot of people. They talk to different people. Yeah, they talk to different people. So I really think it's important to, you know, not only worry about health and wellness, you know, your business ventures, but also having a sense of community.
Yes, that's very big to me.
Even if somebody hurts you, still have a sense of community, because, you know, past traumas or even current traumas shouldn't stop you from developing on you in terms of how you connect with people. It should just teach you about yourself and what have I allowed and what I'm not going to allow.
Right.
You know? So
I definitely agree with that. I think also, too, with having a community, it's important because when you're going through things, you definitely want someone you can
depend on, really.
like you can call when you're facing adversity. So it's good to have, or it's like, say, like I said, I'm hosting events now, so it's good that I've networked with people and I can call different people if I need their area of expertise. Yeah.
That's good. Whoa, it was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Big pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the people of Albany where they can reach you and see your craft, work in progress, and the updates for your events at.
Okay. Well, my Facebook is Empress Summer. That's EHMPYRHSSUMMYRH. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Imperial Evolution. That's EHMPERIAL EVOULOU. I'm sorry, Evolution. EVOLUTION.
All right. Thank you. This was a good session. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
And-
you for having me.